Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome to your weekly general taroscope with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note: these readings are for all of us for the general energies, trends, and themes for for this week. Sorry, there's a lot going on behind the scenes, so I apologize. All of this is obviously informed by my intuitive message. So every week, when I do these, I will, before I even start the reading, I go into my intuition and I ask, what is the message that we need to know? And this kind of serves as unifying energy. It's a thread that runs through the reading to kind of give it some kind of coherence or context. Sometimes it's just like a little spiritual coaching message, or Rafi's sermon, as someone once called it, which I always thought was awesome. But with that said, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity, and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help us all on our paths to our highest vibrational good. So the intuitive message that I got this week was the ancient future beckons. Yes, I know a lot of you are probably thinking, what the hell did he just say? The ancient future beckons. This is basically another way of saying that there is nothing new under the sun, right? So whenever we see something that like seems to be brand new or whatever, it's probably just a resurgence. This is how Hollywood repurposes films, etc. It's also been said that there are literally only 7 stories in the world. Well, okay, fine, that may be true, but look at how many infinite combinations of possibilities we've created from just those original 7. However, those original threads do run through everything that we do. So that's the feeling that I got from this. When I went into it, it was almost like I could see something that looked really futuristic, but then underneath the whole thing, it was like, just, no, this is just an iteration of what has already been, right? So everything that we have, as an example, all trains, yeah, right, okay, they look vastly different to the trains that we had. We're heading towards maglev technology at this point, which will have, I think by the end of the decade, we will have that. It will probably be up and running and quite functional. But we have that, right? And I find, like, when you think about it, yes, okay, it's going to be vastly different to the first original locomotives that we had, the steam-powered engine, but ultimately it's still just a train, right? Yes, it's a brand new version of it, and maybe it uses different fuel and all the rest of it. The same thing underneath all of that. So it was a really interesting message, because that's what I saw in my intuition. It was like I saw this train and it was like, oh wow, this looks amazing. It's like, yeah, but it's not new. So there's something this week for all of us in some way, shape or form. You might see something, you might even have a really brilliant idea that you think is really new and novel, and maybe it is, but it's just a reimagining of something that already has been, right? Everything that we do is, it's already been done. There was like a million brands of toilet roll. There's a million brands, like when a new toothpaste comes out, okay, great, it's a new toothpaste, but it's still just a toothpaste. It doesn't matter how different it is from the one before, it still has the same function as all of the others. I hope this is making sense. Anyway, with that said, for our destiny card for the week ahead, we have from the Human Design Oracle deck. Okay, let's throw them all over the place. Don't do it, don't do it. All right, okay, that one seems to want out. So what are you? It's the gate 53 and opening, and the message behind this card, so I don't know if you can see it, but the faded figure in the background, you can't see it as clear here, but she is actually the Empress. And so what this card always says to me is that there are opportunities that are now, or doors that are of opportunity that are opening for us, that anchor in some way, shape or form a hope, a dream, a wish or a goal of ours. And this basically suggests to me that we may be giving or breathing new life into dreams, goals, hopes and wishes that we had. So yes, there is something brand new, or the future is calling, but it's going to be the things from your past, the people, the places, the situations, maybe even just the thoughts and the ideas and the energies from your past that really begin to help you shape that future into something real, possible and tangible. As an overarching energy as well, I think that this is one of those moments where things start to improve on the wider world stage, and for all of us in some way, shape or form. So it will be interesting to see how this shows up. All right, so for our direction cards, how do we best tap into this energy of opening new doors, of stepping into the ancient future? All right, so this week we have the King of Swords. Okay, so through our own expertise, the King of Pentacles, through checking in with the right people, because two kings represents minor council, and the Four of Swords, waiting. There is an element of this, right? So this week, we're only getting the preliminaries. We're only getting, the door is only opening. We don't walk through it just yet. The reason I say that is because you've got the Four of Swords, which is a waiting, patience and stillness card. It's a slow down energy. It's an energy of staying put for a moment, assessing and observing where we are going, what we're about to do. And what's important here is the two kings, right? So two kings represents minor council. And so what this suggests is we are checking in with or gaining wisdom, knowledge or insight from somebody that we can trust, somebody that we see as a consultant. Maybe you're having a tarot reading, maybe you're having an astrology reading, maybe you're sitting down with a really good friend or a mentor to get some kind of insight or understanding of what is going on for you at this moment in time, or how to make sense or to the right steps for what it is that you're trying to build or to create or to bring out into the world. Now, the King of Swords, this is about utilizing your smarts, your intelligence, but it's also about really working at a level of pure professionalism. The King of Pentacles is what's helping you to embody or to bring what you envision into embodiment, right? So to create it in real time. So you know how like in the manifesting circles, we talk about this idea that, you know, if you can build it in here, all you're doing is really laying the celestial groundwork for the universe to create it in material time, right? But before you do any of that, it has to be done in here first. Now, that being said, once you have this information, once you've crafted or created this thing or made it as tangible as you possibly can within the spiritual essence, take a moment, right? This isn't, yeah, we've had the idea, now we just run ahead with it, or the door of opportunity is open, so now we just jump straight in. No, the Four of Swords says take your time. You have all of the time in the world that you need. This is not a time to rush it. It's a time for you to really take it easy, to think about what you're doing so that you can do it slowly, deliberately, and methodically, right? Slowly, deliberately, methodically. Yeah, very often there is a method to the madness, and this is kind of what it is. All right, so let's have a look at the insight cards. If we could see round corners, what is the added extra information that we need to be aware of on the wider world stage? This does suggest that some kind of plan that we've been hearing about for the longest time. It's like, yeah, you know, this is coming, or we're going to do this, or like there's always hype and spin and buzz about it, but it's not materialized yet. I think this is where the people are going to start to get antsy about what has been promised but hasn't been delivered. So this could literally see, like, I mean, I don't want to say protests, but definitely strategic gatherings around getting something over the finish line. For our insight cards, we've got the Six of Wands that leads to victory. Slow and steady is going to win the race. With the Knight of Pentacles, okay. All right, and the Three of Wands. The travel and or transport industry will be having some very good news this week. This will be where things really start to move. I also think that this is going to be a very big development in terms of the aviation sector, which is planes, and the automobile sector, which is cars. I think we're going to see a big development here. It's like a breakthrough discovery of some sort, and when it hits, There's going to be a lot of talk of how this can benefit everybody in some way, shape, or form. I actually think that this might be a time where some kind of pricing structure comes down, not crashing down or tumbling down, but comes down or starts a downward trend, which I think is going to be very welcomed by everybody. The other thing, that's like the wider world stage on a personal level. This is where you've had some kind of personal insight or victory that now suggests that it really is the right time to move ahead, but slowly, deliberately, methodically, right? That's the way that you do this. But what you do, moving ahead with a plan, maybe you get the planning permission for something, maybe you get the patent for something, maybe you get the, what's the word that I'm looking for? Maybe you get the heads up for something as well, right? So I love this. I actually think this could be great. The other thing with that Three of Wands and the Knight of Pentacles, for all of us, so for those of you that are drivers, for those, and for those of you that are in this position, this could either be a new car, or it could be maybe a problem or an issue that you've had with a car, excuse me, is finally resolved in some way, shape or form. Either which way, this suggests that what happens from this week onwards is going to be very welcome news for all of us in some way, shape or form. And it does have a feeling of like a bell being rung, right? This is some really good news, but it's news that changes something. There's going to be a reverberation from this, all right? With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up for you, or how it shapes up on the wider world stage. And if there's anything that you see that correlates to this reading, please don't forget to share. I love it when you guys do that, because for me, it's total validation and it shows that we're on the right path with the work that we're doing, right? With that said, take care and I'll see you soon.